I think it would be ignorant to go on believing that humans haven't had an effect on the planet.
How can I make a film that will put anthropogenic climate change back on people's radar screens if it's not already there, and hopefully in a new way or in a slightly different way, make them think about it, see it, absorb it in a different manner.
Somebody said, like, why are we not reducing CO2 emissions? I said, have you tried it? And the answer is no.
So what I ended up with was what I called an experimental documentary film, but it was basically just a video triptych with the components of what you would consider an orthodox documentary film kind of broken out to where you're seeing all of the information on the screen at one time, and that way I could kind of have the different elements talking to each other in kind of a metaphorical way. I tried to juxtapose information, so while somebody you're listening to and you're seeing somebody speaking and giving information, while that person's talking, I'm also popping up a quote by somebody from this anonymous survey that completely contradicts what that person's saying, things like that. So I'm juxtaposing information and colliding information, and I'm also putting more information on the screen than you can really absorb at one time. Because that, to me, is that metaphor of this larger issue. This is so big, we can very easily feel overwhelmed by it. I tried to approach the topic in a slightly different way, and put the issue on people's radar screens, hopefully with some kind of a different perspective. I guess the most interesting part of my process was that I actually went through this portion early on where I kind of realized as an academic and especially as a journalist that I really hadn't gone out and looked at the opposite end of the argument, because maybe that is what's creating some of this doubt and inaction and failure to change policy. So I kind of went out into that world and read a lot of information and interviewed Jim Steele, who is an author who wrote a book called Landscapes and Cycles. And he's a skeptic. He says that he doesn't believe that CO2 is the problem. So I kind of went out into that world and then came full circle back to the other end. But by doing that, I feel like I really kind of gave it an honest survey to understand, what was out there as far as human belief on the topic. I did include a participatory element in the film, and the way that I did that is while I was still in the production process, while I was still out doing interviews, both on the street interviews and then some formal interviews, I was also pushing out a social media based survey on climate change. And I asked people just very, very basic questions. What do you believe about climate change? What is your opinion of climate change? What's your biggest fear about climate change? Because I really just wanted to get to this, the rudimentary information. Again, back to that question, why aren't we doing anything about this? Why is policy not changing? We all know that there's a problem. It seemed to me we all know there's a problem, but nothing's happening. We're not changing course.